Hey folks, so we're at Stoke Gompa in the Stoke village. The Stoke Kangri trek starts from this village. It's about 15 kilometers from Leh. Actually, you can see Leh right there in the corner. Um, this is another small village nestled in the mountains. It's just such an incredible landscape. I just carried my Leica today. Really, I just thought that this village is going to be like a quaint little town, maybe a few cafes, um, street shots. So I was thinking that I'll end up using my Leica a lot more. But we are rewarded with this beautiful landscape here, and I just have to come back with the right equipment to make some good shots. Um, One of the things that gets quite overwhelming about these kind of landscapes is you always have the feeling that you haven't gotten the right shots. It's just very difficult to compose and very difficult to feel satisfied that you got the shot that that you wanted, or you got all the shots that you could have had in that particular region. And so a lot of times it's very difficult not to get stressed about what you're missing out when you're doing landscape photography. And there's always going to be other people who think of better compositions or have better clouds or better sunlight or something else that is going for them. And so I think as photographers, we just need to figure out how to stress out less about missing some of these shots and just enjoy the process of shooting a lot more. But like I said, I'm going to be back on the spot with better equipment, and we'll do a video at that point about how I would approach this kind of a scene where you have a beautiful village close to you in the foreground. You have some plains, and then you have mountains up top, and of course with beautiful clouds and blue sky, depending on the weather on that particular day. Alright, so see you in another video soon. Bye.
So we're at Stoke Gompa, and I've come here in the afternoon now. Today is a bit cloudy, so we see a big cloud over here. The snow-capped peaks are still there. You can hear a cow in the background. Ignore that. And the sun is behind us. So when I was here earlier, I was here before noon, and so the sun was on that side of the frame, but now the sun is behind me, and so I'm going to get some sunlight falling here, casting some shadows and giving a more saturated look to the trees here. These are all poplar trees, by the way. So let me just set up my tripod. And we can get started. I have both my lenses today. The 24-105 and the 14-24. I think I'll end up using the 24-105 a lot more, because anything of interest in this kind of a setup is quite far away, and so I definitely want some landscapes which do not include these trees in the foreground, and to get that I will need to have a longer focal length, so I'm going to be using the 24-105 for that. So I'm shooting pretty much at eye level. I've got the ISO down to 200 and I'm at f9 to get a decent depth of field. By chance I've gotten a very interesting composition with the snow-capped mountains, just the peaks, and a very beautifully gradient sky. We'll see how that turns out. What I'm realizing is that having this bungalow in the frame is also quite nice. Alright, so this is my final composition. We have a small bungalow, a couple of small stupas in the foreground, and we have the hills and the Cholgamsar village in the background. So there's a bit of a cloud cover and it feels like it's going to rain, so I feel like I should wrap up now. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of activity in the Stoke village. It's quite a decent little place, but not a lot to do, and sunset isn't for another 3 hours at least. So that's not going to be fun, just sitting around here and hoping it doesn't rain. So it was a bit of a washout today. The sky is very grey. The light is flat and the sun is going behind some clouds as well. Even if there were some interesting clouds, we could have done something with it, but this is not an inspiring landscape, not an inspiring light at all. But that's the thing with landscape photography. I had good light when I did not have my equipment, but I still got some decent shots, and so we'll look at some of them. And we got some decent shots today as well, just in the beginning of the video when there was some sunlight, but it's a bit of a gamble to stay here any longer because it feels like it's definitely going to rain, and I would rather be back in Leh. Alright, see you in another video sometime soon.